What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we have got our first news about BT7. That is, of course, the upcoming Digimon TCG set. Now, I know that it was only yesterday that I showed you about EX01, that special collection set with more cards per pack and all artwork, which is basically copying or using or homaging or however you want to phrase it, the old card game. Although, I should point out, the lovely Gio Yao, apologies for the pronunciation, did point out to me that actually there were about 5 old Digimon TCGs, but we're talking about the one that most people are familiar with. Well, this is not that. I told you in the video yesterday that was not BT7, and I meant it. We are now looking at actual BT7, that is to say, the next proper set, which is going to be released, the next numbered set, the next set which looks very much like we would expect our sets to generally look. And we have a little bit of information about it now. We haven't had a big reveal with lots of card images and all of that. We don't tend to. The first news about a new set, and anyone that's been following this channel for a while will know this is the case, tends to come out as a little bit of information from a sell sheet and we'll go from there. But that doesn't really matter, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a small amount of information, and you know what? That'll do, ladies and gentlemen. That'll do. So what do we know about it? Well, we know that it is apparently called Next Adventure. BT7 Next Adventure. Cool. We know that it is releasing on Friday, August the 27th, which we'll have a quick release schedule gander in a moment. I'll do a proper release schedule later on, but in terms of when it's coming out, that honestly seems about right. But again, we'll have a look at that properly in a moment. And we know the rarity breakdown. We do tend to get these rarity breakdowns when they come along, so I suppose it's good that we've got one here. And apparently, and I should mention, this information does come from digimoncard-wiki.com. And essentially, we are getting 112 types in total, plus campaign, we'll talk about them in a moment. And there are 44 common, 30 uncommon, 26 rare, 10 super rare, and 2 secret rare. Now, what we obviously can do then is start comparing that to previous sets. And if we take a little bit of a look at Double Diamond, it is going to look very, very similar indeed. Not identical, because apparently Double Diamond had 11 super rares, except I'm not sure that was actually true in the end. Correct me in the comment section if I am mistaken, but I'm fairly sure there were only actually 10 super rares in BT6, so I think that is a typo there on the screen, which means, of course, that it does have the same rarity breakdown as BT6, which was Double Diamond. And this is all fairly standard. I mean, if we go and look at BT5, there were 112 different types of cards, 44 common, 30 uncommon, 26 rare, 10 super rare, 2 secret rare. Oh, look. It's exactly the same. We're not going back any further. I'm done with this. But my point is that we actually do see that this is honestly pretty standard. Doesn't really give us a huge amount of new information, but it does tell us that this set, in terms of ratios, rarity, and all of that good stuff, is going to be about what we have come to expect up till now. So, you know, that's kind of cool, right? Now, you will notice I showed you Double Diamond on the screen just a moment ago. That released on the 28th of May. So if we're going the 27th of August here, that gives us 3 months between sets. Now, if we follow a Pokemon kind of thing here, then 3 months between sets is about right. Now, outside of Japan, Pokemon has one set every 3 months. Inside Japan, they've got main sets and mini sets. It all gets kind of complicated. It is worth noting that EX01 really here does not count, because it's not a regular set. It's not in the regular release schedule. It's an extra set. We assume it's going to be kind of like a premium set off to the side. That's not confirmed, but seems pretty gosh darn likely. Now, that is currently due for release at the end of July. We did see a release date listed for the 30th of July, but that is just the last Friday in July. I've not been able to confirm that date, So it is absolutely possible that what is actually happening here is that somebody's gone, oh, end of July, let's just put the final Friday in July as a placeholder, and then we'll go from there. That is absolutely possible. Now, we do have some points here as well. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. These points are giving information on Digimon generally. It's not my strong suit. Card games, yes. Digimon lore, unfortunately not. But here are the points we've got. Point number 1, based on Digimon Frontier, like Susanumon and Hybrid Digimon, for anyone that's into that. Point number 2, character from the new Digimon animation. So if you're watching a new Digimon animation, you do want to see a tie-in, this'll work. Of course, if I remember correctly, and I'm fairly sure I'm right about this, Dan Devamon was actually introduced in the anime, and then it was like the next day or something silly that we actually did see a Dan Devamon card revealed for the TCG. So this could well be something along those lines. And there are campaign cards related to Digimon Adventure 2020. Yeah, this is the extra bit we kind of glossed over a moment ago that we now need to go and circle back to. There are 8 types of campaign cards. And a lot of people are saying what these might be, but no one's actually seems to know exactly what they are. And that is, yeah. We don't exactly know, ladies and gentlemen. We don't exactly know. So over in the Dragon Ball Super TCG, which of course is made by Bandai, although, and I've said this many times before and this absolutely bears repeating, Digimon and Dragon Ball Super are not the same game. Now, that does not mean there will not be similarities, but one is made in Japan and ported over, the other one basically is just made over here. So that is not in any way, shape or form to say that you can't just go, oh, this is what Dragon Ball are doing, so Digimon are doing the same, but it is also to say that you cannot necessarily just do that. Now, the campaign rares here we've got from one of the previous Dragon Ball sets, are essentially making up a picture, so you can put them all next to each other and they work quite nicely. So this is one option here. Of course, do remember that we did have those special cards that were in the Gallantmon and Ulforce Vidramon starter decks, which were these kind of special ones as well, that I have heard referred to as campaign rares, though I'm not 100% sure if they actually are or not. That is going to be one of those time will tell kind of deals. My point is there is a new rarity of card here, but nobody actually knows what it is. Like I've said, we can look at Dragon Ball Super and make some guesses, or we can try and equate it to other things. At the moment, all we actually know, and here we go, there is an image that's been on the screen that does literally refer to them as campaign cards. Are campaign cards the same as what are being listed here as campaign? Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I think we can probably assume that they are themed in some regard, but that is about the best we can do. My point is, we don't know what these campaign cards are. And if anybody tells you they know what the campaign cards are, they have either got insider information from Bandai, or they are making a prediction and lying to you and saying it's fact. The answer is, at the moment, we just don't know. Now, hopefully, in the not too distant future, we will, and that will be awesome. But as it stands at the moment, we don't actually know, is the honest answer, ladies and gentlemen. We just don't know. Now, the thing about trying to look at the release date here is it gets kind of awkward, because we've got that EXO-1 set. So if we take a look at what we've had so far, we saw that BT1 came out on May the 15th, and then BT2 came out on July the 22nd, which was 2 months and 1 week later. We then had BT3 on October the 30th, which was pretty much 3 months later. Well, 3 months and a week, but same kind of deal. And then BT4 came out on December the 18th, which was about 6 weeks later. It was a very, very short gap indeed. Really was not much time between them at all there. You know, like a month and a half. We then ended up with BT5 coming on February the 26th. So you're talking just over 2 months there. Like 2 months and a week. And then we've got BT6 coming in, which came out on May the 28th, which is 3 months later. So we've not had, over in Japan yet, we've not had a particular regular cadence, which we would expect a card game to slip into. Certainly in the early days where they're building the game, you can imagine that you would have some changes and that things would mess around a little bit, but you expect them to fall into a fairly regular cadence. Well, if we just look at the last 3 sets, and I know that's cheating a little bit, but BT5 came out at the end of February. 3 months later, Double Diamond came out at the end of May. 3 months later, this new set, whose name I've forgotten, but I'm going to find it in just a second, Next Adventure, is coming out at the end of August, which means that we might, and as far as I'm concerned, this is actually genuinely pretty big news, we might be falling into a quite regular 3-month pattern. Remembering, of course, that we tend to get the sets now from BT4 onwards, we tend to get them the same as Japan. So yeah, we've got 12 card packs rather than 6, but we do tend to get the same set with the same name and the same cards and the same rarities and all of that. So that means we could also fall into a regular 3-month cadence of getting new sets. Again, ignore EX01, it's a little bit different. So we know the new set's coming, we know the rarity breakdown, we know the release date, we know the name, we know a little bit of information about it. I, for one, am pretty gosh darned excited. But I would like to know how excited you are. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.